There's a pencil line on the kitchen door frame, 39 inches off the floor, with a date next to it, July 2011. Your daughter's height, age 4, marked the week you moved in. There are 22 more lines above it now, climbing the frame like a ladder, and the newest one is taller than your wife. That door frame is the most valuable thing you own, and it cost nothing. And this is the story of how it got that way. The story of the house you never left, on a street where everyone else did. Start in 2011. You and your wife buy the house on Linden Court for $209,000. 3 bedrooms, 1 story, a garage that fits 1 car and a half if you're honest. It is nobody's dream house. The kitchen has oak cabinets the color of honey and countertops pretending to be granite. The master bathroom has a light fixture from a decade that should apologize. Your mortgage, 30-year fixed, comes to $1,400 a month with taxes and insurance. And the first night, you two eat pizza on a paint tarp in the empty living room, and it's perfect, the way empty rooms full of plans are perfect. The street fills in around you with couples your age, the Hendersons across the way, Mike and Dana next door. Everyone starts the same builder, similar loans, kids arriving within a few years of each other, bikes multiplying in driveways. For a while, the whole street is the same team. And then, around year 4, the street starts doing the thing American streets do. Mike and Dana go first. Dana gets a promotion, and within a year, there's a for sale sign and an explanation at the mailbox. They've found something with a bonus room and a 3-car garage in a newer development. Nothing's wrong with Linden Court, Dana says, laughing a little apologetically. They've just outgrown it. Outgrown. You look at their house, which has 3 bedrooms for 3 people, and file the word away. The Hendersons go in year 6. Then the Kapoors. Then the family on the corner whose name you never fully caught. Each departure comes with the same vocabulary. Upgrading, more space, better this, newer that. And each one plants a small itch in your kitchen with the honey oak cabinets. Because here's what nobody admits. Staying is easy until the leaving starts. Once the wave begins, staying stops feeling like a decision and starts requiring one, over and over, every time a moving truck idles on the street. Your itch year is year 7. Be honest about it. Your income has grown. The bank, you checked, one late night, laptop glow, feeling vaguely unfaithful, would happily approve you for a house twice this one. There's a development 8 minutes away, the one where Mike and Dana went, with tall foyers and islands the size of a twin bed, and you tour a model home one Saturday, just to look, and the itch becomes a full-body thing. On the drive home, your wife is quiet, and then she says the sentence the entire next decade gets built on. She says, "That house was beautiful, but I couldn't find anything in it that we actually need." You run the numbers that night at the kitchen table, and the numbers are almost violent. The bigger house, $540,000. New mortgage, higher taxes, higher insurance, higher utilities, furniture for rooms you currently do not own furniture for, all in, about $2,100 more per month than you pay now. $2,100 a month for 25 more years to host the same lives you're already living. And against it, the other column, what $2,100 a month does if it goes into investments instead, at ordinary market averages for those same years. You both look at the final number for a long time. It has 7 figures in it. The itch doesn't survive the arithmetic. You never tour another model home. So begins the quiet part. The 15 years the street can't see. Because your $1,400 payment never moves. That's the mechanism nobody explains about staying put. A fixed mortgage is the only major bill in American life that is frozen the day you sign it. Rent rises. New house payments reset the clock and the amount. But your payment stands still while your income climbs past it, over it, away from it, and every year the gap widens. And the gap is where the future comes from. In 2011, the mortgage ate 31% of your take-home. By year 10, 11%. Year 14, it dips under 9. Same house, same payment. It just kept getting cheaper while you kept getting older, like the house was aging in reverse. The gap goes to work every month, automatically. Index funds, college accounts, and the mortgage principal itself. You round the payment up every month, an extra $300 toward the balance, which the amortization math quietly turns into years. Whole years. deleted off the back of the loan for the price of a car payment you chose not to have. Year 9 hands you a gift, and you're paying enough attention to catch it. Rates fall off a cliff, and you refinance the remaining balance, not into a bigger loan, not cashing out a dime, though the loan officer offers 3 times, almost pleading like he's watching you leave food on a plate. Same balance, lower rate, and you keep making the exact same payment as before, so every month the extra bites deeper into principal. The refinance costs you one afternoon and $2,200 in fees, and shortens the loan by another 2 years. The loan officer, closing his folder, actually says it out loud. You know, most people take the cash. You do know. You've watched the street do it. Cash-out refis funded half the boats and kitchen islands in the county that year, each one quietly reloading a mortgage its owner had spent a decade shrinking. The street got shinier. The street also got 7 more years of payments. Nobody puts that part on the boat. And there's a social tax to all this, so pay it honestly. Somewhere around year 10, your house becomes the topic. Not cruelly, you're liked, but you feel it. The holiday party where a guy from work, standing in your living room, says, "So when are you two finally moving?" with total warmth, as if staying were a phase, like a haircut. Your mother-in-law, who loves you, wondering aloud if the neighborhood is still right for your daughter, by which she means the neighborhood hasn't changed and everyone she knows has. In this country, the house is the scoreboard, and a payment that stands still reads from the outside like a life that's stalled. You stopped explaining the actual score years ago. The actual score was none of their business, which is precisely what made it a score worth having. Meanwhile, you renovate the itch away, the cheap, honest way. You and your brother-in-law paint the cabinets white over one long weekend for under $200, and the kitchen becomes a different room. New light fixtures, new hardware, a Saturday's work each. Year 9, you redo the master bathroom for $11,000. Real money, saved up in advance, paid in full. And the light fixture from the decade that should apologize goes in the trash. And your wife stands in the doorway that night just looking at it, arms crossed, satisfied. And that look was worth the $11,000 on its own. And the doorframe keeps climbing. That's what the street can't see from the sidewalk. The house filling up with time. The doorframe lines. The corner of the garage where a 9-year-old's bike ramp got built and rebuilt. The backyard maple you planted as a stick in 2013, thick enough for a tire swing by 2021. Your daughter has 1 bedroom in her entire memory. 1. When she's 16, a friend of hers moves for the 3rd time and stays over that weekend, and you hear them through the wall. Your daughter explaining, in the tone of someone stating the obvious, "The marks on the kitchen door are me." Like it was unremarkable. Like everyone gets to have a wall that remembers them. Year 11 brings the boom, and the boom brings the second temptation, which is sneakier than the first. Housing prices in your county go vertical, the kind of market where houses sell in a weekend, over asking, to buyers who waive everything. Your unglamorous 1-story is suddenly worth almost double what you paid, and the world will not let you forget it. Letters arrive weekly, real letters, handwritten looking fonts, from agents and investors who would love to talk. A guy actually knocks on the door one Saturday, friendly, card in hand, representing a buyer who'll pay cash, as is, name your date. And the neighborhood group chat, the one that used to be about lost dogs, becomes a stock ticker. Somebody's cousin sold and cleared $300,000. The Kapoor's old place just went for $415. Can you believe it? Everyone's a genius in a boom, and the message underneath every message is the same. You're sitting on a lottery ticket, and only a fool doesn't cash a lottery ticket. You run the numbers anyway, because that's what the kitchen table is for. Sell high, fine. And then live where? Every house you'd buy went up the same amount or more. The ticket cashes into a more expensive ticket. Rent, and you trade a frozen $1,400 payment for a landlord's opinion, revised annually. The only people the boom actually paid were the ones leaving the area entirely or downsizing hard. And you weren't doing either. You were raising a kid 4 blocks from her school. So the answer was the same answer as year 7, wearing a nicer suit. The guy with the card leaves a voicemail in the spring. You never call back. The maple gets another ring. Year 12, the house pays you back in a currency you didn't know it held. A windstorm takes a section of roof off in April. The kind of sudden 5-figure problem that detonates household budgets across America every single day. The adjuster comes, covers most of it. The gap is $3,800. And here's the entire scene. You transfer the money from savings while standing in the driveway, still on the phone with the roofer, scheduling him for Thursday. That's it. That's the whole crisis. 30 seconds, 1 thumb. Because a house payment frozen at 2011 prices 13 years into rising income had built a cash cushion deep enough that weather is now a scheduling issue. 2 streets over, that same storm put 3 families onto credit cards at 24%. Same wind, different math underneath the shingles. Now run the same 15 years next door, because fairness requires it. Mike and Dana are not fools, and this isn't a story where they lose. They're doing fine. But you had them over last summer. Burgers, the tire swing, the kids feral in the yard, and Mike, 2 beers in, got honest at the grill. The bonus room house was $540. The one after it, because there was one after it, was $680. Every move cost them 6 figures in commissions, taxes, and the furniture ratchet, and reset a 30-year clock they've now restarted 3 times. He's 51. His payment is $3,800 a month and runs until he's 74. Nice houses, though, he said, tongs in hand, looking at your maple. Every one of them was nice. It wasn't bitter. It was just a man doing arithmetic out loud at a grill, 15 years too late for the arithmetic to matter. Here's yours. The mortgage on Linden Court died in year 14. The extra 300s compressed a 30-year loan into a shade over 14. The final payment was anticlimactic, a Tuesday, a checking transfer like any other, and then it simply never came out again. The first full month with no house payment, you both kept staring at the checking balance like it was a trick. $1,400 just stayed. Every month. Forever. Meanwhile, the investment account built out of 15 years of gap money, the not moving money, the 2,100 difference money, crossed $600,000 this spring on ordinary funds with no genius anywhere in the process. And the house itself, the unglamorous 1-story nobody's dream, is worth about $420,000 now, owned outright, down to the honey. No, down to the white cabinets. You painted those. Add it up, and the boring house on Linden Court manufactured roughly $1 million of net worth. Not through appreciation magic, every house on the street appreciated, but through the one variable the movers surrendered and you kept. A payment that never grew, feeding a gap that never closed, for 15 years that never stopped compounding. But you know what? That's not even the ending. The ending is smaller than that. It's a Sunday morning this past October. Your daughter's home from her first semester of college, the college the gap money is paying for, in cash, no loans. The 529 account got its first deposit the same month Mike and Dana moved out, year 4, funded by exactly the kind of money the street kept converting into square footage, and 11 years of automatic 200s, plus growth, turned into a paid tuition bill and a 19-year-old who will graduate owing no one anything. She half doesn't grasp what a strange American miracle that sentence is. Her roommate's loans are already north of $30,000, freshman year. Someday you'll show her the math, the model home you didn't buy, the line from that Saturday to this bursar's receipt. Not yet. Right now she's home, and that's the whole point of everything. She's standing at the kitchen door with a pencil, insisting, at 19, on one more line. For the record. And your wife is protesting that the record is closed, and losing, and laughing. The pencil scratches. The date goes next to it. 24 lines now. 39 inches to 67, July 2011 to October. One door frame, one house, one unbroken place where an entire childhood happened to happen. Everyone on that street bought a house in 2011. You're the only ones who got to keep what grew inside it.